Okay, we're going to go through one of the most essential things to know when riding a bike is how to fix a flat tire. So, this bike has quick releases. We're going to go ahead and flick the quick release. Go ahead and take out the wheel. When you do the rear wheel, it's a good thing to do is to pull back the derailleur so the wheel will drop out a little bit easier. Okay. And then you take your tire irons, tire levers, tire iron, you can say both. And lots of times, it depends on tires from different manufacturers. I mean, they're made all over the place, and so lots of times the tire can be a different size, so it could actually stay the same size as another tire on the sidewall, but it might be a lot more difficult to actually take off. So what you do is you pry it up, so it's just like that. You put it underneath the tire. Make sure that the tube's not in contact with there, because if it is and you're trying to patch the tube, it could tear the tube. So make sure it's just against the bead on the tire. You can go around the whole tire. This tire comes off really easy. Go and pull that out. It looks like this has a rim strip, well, a tire liner with it, so it's supposed to prevent from getting flats. Obviously it didn't work. So pull this out. If you're out on the trail, you don't have any other tubes, don't have any patches, one thing that I learned, that actually I used this once and it worked really well, is that you find out where the hole is and you go ahead and you cut the tube where the hole is. So go ahead and cut it all the way across. Okay. So you can go ahead and tear the rest. Okay. And you go ahead and tie knots in both ends of the tube. Go ahead and make sure you get it all the way at the end, or as close as you can to the end, and the knot needs to be super tight so that the tube can still hold air. So hopefully you only have one hole at this point. But you go ahead and cut the tube and then put knots in both ends. And then in that spot that there would be no tube inside your tire, you go ahead and put some brush. So fill it full of brush. You don't want anything sharp, just something to fill up that space. And go ahead and line the tube with the rest of the tire. Go ahead and pump it up and you can ride home, so you don't have to walk your bike home. So that's a survival tip. Hopefully you don't have to use that. But if you are just going to use a tube and replace it, if you do have a tube on the trail, go ahead and make sure that you check the whole tire. Make sure that there's nothing sharp in there, because obviously you got a flat for some reason. So once you check the whole tire, didn't find anything, go ahead and throw a new tube in. Make sure that it's the right size. This is a 26 by 1 point. Okay, now comes for the fun part. That's installing the tube. So we can go ahead and put our tire liner back in. Make sure that that's flush against the top of the tire. Alright, almost there. Okay. Looks like we're just about ready to go. Okay, so it's in there flush. We're going to go ahead and take the tube. Make sure it's a pressive valve. The hole on your rim, which the valve goes through, there's two different sizes. So you can use Schrader, which is the thicker tube, and you don't need an adapter. Or you can just do the Presta. This is a Presta tube. We're going to go ahead and put that through. So line that up with the hole. Go ahead and put the valve through first. It's good to put a little bit of air in. It just makes it so that it's easier to handle this. Let me grab a pump. Usually you can just blow a little bit of air into it, but I didn't do that step. Okay, got a little bit of air in there. Go ahead and go all the way around the tire. Make sure that the rim strip, if you have a tire liner like we do, make sure that's protecting the tire. And then go ahead and start around. I usually like to put my hand in one place and put your thumb in the area to hold it down, and then go around with the other hand. This is good for sometimes if you just go around with one hand without putting your hand in one area. It makes it so that the tire starts coming off as you're going around, so you just keep on going around and you're not getting anywhere. So we're able to go ahead and set that in, and just to make sure, go around and make sure that the tube is inside the tire instead of on the outside. If you pump up the tire and the tube is on the outside of the bead, it will explode the tire. So you could actually, sometimes you could pump it up, especially with road bike tires, this is a big problem. You could pump it up and then you could be riding, and if your tube is not inside the bead, it could explode on you, and you could have a really bad accident. So make sure that your tube, go around and make sure that your tube is on the inside of the tire, inside the bead. And then go ahead and pump it up, and you're ready to rock and roll.